Hello, Happy New Year for all of you. I'm going to present the astrology reading for your particular birth sign, also called your ascendant, for the entire year of 2026. So, I'm going to focus mainly on the four main planets which are used to predict long term predictions, also called those Jupiter and Rahu, Ketu, and Saturn. So those are the main four planets which are used to predict uh, for the long-term predictions. Also, I'm going to focus the main events of those short-term moving planets, like those are the planets we are using to predict the short-term influences, like Sun, Mars, and Venus and Mercury. So I will focus specific events of those planets which affect you during this period. Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu are the planets which exert long-term influences. So you can get the common picture for the entire year from them. Rahu is going to stay in the 11th house up to 5th December 2026. 11th house is the best place for Rahu, and the sign associated with the 11th house is Aquarius, and that also a highly convenient sign for Rahu. Rahu also called North Node, especially for the income gains, wealth gain. Rahu is highly uh, favorable planet. So as it is in its maximum power, it will exert highly favorable influences for Aries ascendant during that period. Not only the general income, also the sudden income gains like lottery wins, or the sudden income gains from other ways, or economical gains, you might benefit from. You might be benefited from the Rahu. And when it comes to Jupiter, it's in the third house up to 2nd June 2026. So the Jupiter aspect Rahu for the 11th house. As you are aware, Jupiter resembles wealth. So the planet which resembles wealth aspect Rahu. So that will lead to the increase of the income uh, of the Aries ascendants. The best time comes from 11th March to 2nd June, because before that the Jupiter is in a retrograde state, but from the 11th March to the 2nd June it's in direct motion. So during that period, Jupiter's aspect will be highly positive for the income gains towards Rahu. Earlier, before 29th March 2025, Saturn was the planet helping for your income, because it was in the 11th house. 11th house belonged to Saturn. Not only that, 10th house also belonged to Saturn. So Saturn represent your profession and income. But from 29th March 2025 onwards, Saturn transited to 12th house. So no more help from Saturn. It will help for the people who are working abroad, or who are dealing with foreign organizations or foreigners, or doing businesses with remote areas. There are kind of professions which are associated with 12th house. Only for those people who are doing their jobs with the professions which are related to the 12th house, they will get some gains. But most of the people are not like that, no. So they will face kind of negative influences for their profession during the year 2026. I mean, comparatively negative. But the Rahu is going to help you during that period uh, for your income, because both the profession and income might affect negatively during the year 2026 as the Saturn in the 12th house. Only for those people who are doing their professions or gaining income from the matters associated with the 12th house, they will have some kind of positive influences. Other people, other Aries ascendant, they will face mainly negative influences for their profession and income. But Rahu is going to fill the vacuum created by the Saturn for your income. It will be benefited for your income, but not for the profession. So I was explaining you about the role of Jupiter up to uh, 2nd June 2026. So Jupiter's aspect is also favorable for your 7th house, because Jupiter is going to stay there in the marriage triangle, 3rd house up to 2nd June. Not only that, on 2nd June 2026, it will transit to the 4th house and it will become exalted there. So it will achieve or attain its maximum power. From there also, Jupiter aspect the 7th house. So until 31st October, from the beginning of the year until 31st October, Jupiter can aspect the 7th house. The best period comes from the 2nd June to 31st October. As you are aware, the 7th house resembles all the matters related to a marriage. So, the aspect of the Jupiter is highly favorable for your marriage or your spouse, because on the other side, Rahu is there in the 11th house up to 5th December 2026. It is not going to exert positive influences to your 7th house. It will be benefited for your income, that's true. But when it comes to your marriage or married life or your spouse, Rahu's aspect for the 7th house is not favorable, it's negative. But as the Jupiter can aspect the 7th house until 31st October, so it can overcome the malefic influences exerted by Rahu to a great extent. Not completely, but to a great extent. But the problems comes after that. After 31st October, no more help from the Jupiter. It transits to the 5th house, so you can't expect the 7th house. Then the Rahu aspect the 7th house up to 5th December. So that is kind of negative period for your 7th house. The matters governed by the 7th house. For those Aries ascendants who are expecting to get married, that best period comes from 2nd June to 31st October. And you will get good marriages, good partners, good especially wedding ceremonies like that. For those people who are already married and having married life, they also enjoy a peaceful married life, and that period will be favorable period for their spouse also. On 31st October, Jupiter moves to your 5th house. Until that, from the beginning of the year up to 5th December 2026, Ketu is going to stay there in your 5th house. Ketu also called South Node. So Ketu is in enemy state in your 5th house. That is bad. It supports only your education, because Ketu always supports education. If you are studying, then if you are an Aries ascendant who are studying, then that is a good period for up to 5th December 2026. That's a good period for your studies, for your education. But 5th house also resembles your love relationships. But Ketu really uh, becomes negative for that such relationships. Also, fifth house resembles your children, so that also negative. The Ketu in the fifth house also negatively influencing the children of Aries ascendant during its stay in the fifth house. But there's a positive thing also, because 31st October onward, Jupiter will be there in the fifth house with the Ketu. Ketu might leave earlier in 5th December, but even after that, until the end of the year, Jupiter will be there in the fifth house. The good fact is Jupiter can overcome the uh, malefic influences created by the Ketu from 31st October until the end of the year successfully. Not until the end of the year, because Ketu is going to leave there earlier up to that. Even after that, Jupiter is there exerting highly positive influence for the fifth house. Once Jupiter reaches there, then things will be better for the matters governed by fifth house. Also, from 2nd June to up to the end of year, Jupiter can aspect the first house or the Lagna Bhava. So that is giving some uh, good positive thinking and helping you to make good matured decision making and give you the energy to overcome your difficulties and help you to maintain good financial and mental health. So I'm not going to explain the influences of short-term planets here, because they transit uh, in a month's time or 1.5 months time. So there are so many transits there. So it's difficult to explain here. So I'm publishing those planetary transitions time to time. So just check them for to know the short-term influences of them. So this is the common story or the common picture uh, for the year 2026. So this is the common or general astrology reading for your birth sign. But to get a more accurate and more personalized astrology reading, you have to refer your birth chart to an astrologer, because your birth chart shows the exact positioning of the planets and their aspects with each other and the strength of those planets at the time of your birth. It reveals the data which were stored in the universe about you at the time of your birth. It's like the screenshot of the sky at the time of your birth. So, to get a more accurate and more personalized birth chart reading, you have to refer your birth chart to an astrologer. And even for those remedies which are recommended for your uh, those malefic influences also would be recommended by the astrologer. So, your birth chart shows your destiny, but this destiny is not a fixed destiny. It can be changed, because your birth chart reveals whatever you brought with your birth, your strengths, your weaknesses, and the things to be happened in the future. So, according to a wise person, can plan well, prepare well, and to a work plan he can work, and he can overcome his weaknesses and strengthen his abilities more and more, and then work to a plan, and he can overcome the difficulties uh, comes towards him during his life path, so he can achieve the success in his life, so he can overcome the negative areas of his destiny with his courage and intelligence. Thank you.